Okay, thank you. I would like to thank the organizers of the International Cancer and Immuno-Oncology Conference. Today, my topic is about, the title of my topic is Genetic and Epigenetic Alterations of SOX7 in Multiple Myeloma and Allied Neoplasms. By the way, there is some background sound coming from some place, like traffic sounds. If it can be silenced, I'll be happy. So different than other cancer researchers, we are working on relatively rare group of cancers, which are called lymphoid cancers. These represent around 4% of the, let me show you here 1 minute, pointer. Okay, so these represent around 4% of all cancers, and they generally derive from BT or NK lymphocytes. Because of that, they are called lymphoma. The first lymphoma is Hodgkin lymphoma. It is the first one described, and anything followed it called non-Hodgkin lymphomas. But today I will not be talking about lymphomas. There is another group of lymphoid cancer called plasma cell disorders, and these generate from the further differentiated version of B cells called plasma cells. So one of the most important and prominent actually plasma cell disorder is multiple myeloma. So as I mentioned, it generates from the abnormal proliferation of the plasma cells. And as you know, the plasma cells are actually a component of the immune system, and they generate specific antibodies to fight the microorganisms by binding to specific antigens. So when they proliferate in an uncontrolled way, they generate this multiple myeloma. It's a relatively common type of hematological cancer. It represents 10% of hematological cancers and characterized by tumors in multiple bones. And unfortunately, it is currently still incurable, although there are so many new treatment regimens available that can actually extend the life of the multiple myeloma patients. But eventually, these patients relapse, and most of the time, they cannot be cured and they die from this disease. So multiple myeloma is a cancer, and there are allied diseases, I mean related diseases. So one of them is smoldering multiple myeloma. This is a benign neoplasm, asymptomatic kind of a disease. And there are some of these smoldering multiple myeloma patients can transition to multiple myeloma, generally the high-risk ones. And multiple myeloma can further progress to plasma cell leukemia, which is actually a more aggressive type of cancer in which the plasma cells are represented in the blood. So we question whether there's any gene aberrant in both multiple myeloma and allied diseases that can be used to improve the diagnosis and therapy of these related plasma cell neoplasms. As people working in cancer research knows probably quite well, the recurrent deleted regions, which has loss of heterozygosity, these deleted regions generally possess one or more tumor suppressor genes. And in multiple myeloma, a long time ago, actually, homozygous deletions of 8p23, 8p23.4 was observed in tumor samples by using the Affymetric SNP arrays. And when we look at the genes, candidate tumor suppressor genes, here we had observed a couple of tumor suppressor candidates, especially the SOX7 gene was implicated to be a tumor suppressor in different cancers, as I will show shortly. So we decided to work on this gene. Why did we choose SOX7? Because as you can see in this table, there are certain genetic and epigenetic aberrations identified in several types of cancers, and you can see most of them are carcinomas. For example, promoter hypermethylation of SOX7 is observed in a very common type of cancers like colorectal, prostate, lung, breast. Chromosomal deletion was observed also, as I mentioned, 8p23.1 in certain cancers like prostate, lung, liver. some also other type of epigenetic aberrations are observed in SOX7 locus, such as histone modifications or microRNA-mediated regulation, but the major ones are generally promoter hypermethylation and chromosomal deletion. So in other cancer types, also functional study is done with SOX7, and this is a transcription factor. I forgot to mention about that. And in many cancer types, when SOX7 was ectopically expressed, the proliferation was inhibited. This is very common in several different cancer types. In some cancers, it inhibited migration and invasion, which is another hallmark of cancer, as you know, or ectopic SOX7 also promote apoptosis in certain cancer types. Another important actual observation is the mechanism of this anti-tumor effect, and most of the time it's targeted the Wnt beta-catenin pathway. So that SOX7 expression generally decrease the Wnt beta-catenin signaling. And I forgot to mention that the proliferation is generally inhibited through G1 cell cycle arrest by inhibition of cyclin D1 and MYC. So based on these observations, our hypothesis in this study is that the SOX7 is transcription downregulated through epigenetic and epigenetic mechanisms in multiple myeloma and allied diseases. And the first specific aim of this project is to evaluate SOX7 deletion frequency in diagnostic as well as relapsed multiple myeloma samples. Second one is to investigate presence of SOX7 promoter hypermethylation in multiple myeloma and plasma cell leukemia. Third one is to examine the relationship between SOX7 deletion or promoter methylation and its transcription expression in multiple myeloma. So we did experiments in our lab. At the same time, we utilized the publicly available data, especially NCBI-GEO series. So this result is showing actually the qPCR result of SOX7 copy number in multiple myeloma cell lines. Based on the real-time qPCR, as you can see that we had 5 cell lines available in our lab. And when we look at the genomic DNA in 2 of the 5 cell lines, which is around 40% of the cell lines, we had homozygous deletion of SOX7. We also collected multiple myeloma tumors, bone marrow samples, and FACS sorted the tumor fraction of that, and then isolated DNA and did qPCR to check the SOX7 copy numbers. Compared to reactive tonsil plasma cell samples, as you can see that there was 5 of the 15 primary tumor samples, newly diagnosed multiple myeloma samples, 33% has deletion of SOX7. So we actually use 2 different genes to normalize. One of the results, one of the graphics are shown here. One of the genes is AMC7, and we had another housekeeping gene in a different chromosome we use. So the red stars are indicating actually the ones that we found to be deleted based on both actually housekeeping genes. We did the same thing in relapsed multiple myeloma tumor samples. As you can see, in 3 out of 11 relapsed multiple myeloma samples, we had SOX7 copy number decrease. And we also evaluated the publicly available data for patient-matched multiple myeloma cases. It means that this is a microarray result, actually, cytoscan array. We reanalyzed to identify the SOX7 copy numbers in diagnostic and relapse tumor samples for the same cases. And as you can see that there is a positive correlation in the SOX7 copy number in diagnostic and matching diagnostic and relapse cases as actually expected. As I mentioned a couple of slides ago, that SOX7 hypermethylation is very commonly observed in different type of cancers other than multiple myeloma. As you can see, the UCSC genome browser actually snapshot here, the SOX7 locus, that there is a big CPG island here. So it's not surprising that this hypermethylation is the main mechanism, and because there are CPG islands here. So we questioned whether SOX7 may be transcription downregulated due to promoter hypermethylation in also multiple myeloma and allied diseases. Again, we reanalyzed the publicly available microarray data, the actually Illumina human methylation B chip data, and we observed that in multiple myeloma cell lines, there is SOX7 promoter hypermethylation is observed in many of the cell lines. 8 of the 9 cell lines had 89% had SOX7 promoter hypermethylation compared to the control samples, which are normal B cells and plasma cells. Of course, plasma cells are better control, but in both cases, they were unmethylated, but myeloma cell lines had SOX7 promoter methylation. You can see that one of the cell lines didn't have hypermethylation, is RPMI 8226 here. And we also cross-validated these results in our own laboratory by doing bisulfite sequencing. Here you see the negative control. These white boxes are representing each CPG in the CPG island that we evaluated in year SOX7. So white means unmethylated, positive control is the methylated DNA. You can see black is almost fully methylated. When we look at the cell lines, consistent with the other groups results, actually, we observed hypermethylation in for most of the cell lines. KMS18 has the most methylation, but IM9, U266, MM1S also had hypermethylation. And again, consistent with the previous result that I showed, the cell line that doesn't have methylation by DNA methylation array, also based on bisulfite sequencing, we didn't see any methylation in this cell line. Next, we analyzed the promoter methylation status in the primary tumor samples. As you can see, many cases has SOX7 promoter methylation compared to control samples, which are plasma cells or B cells. In panel B, you can see that not only multiple myeloma cases, but also plasma cell leukemia cases have hypermethylation in almost half of the cases, although the case number is small here, but it looks like the SOX7 may have a role also in plasma cell leukemia, as you can see here. The next thing we checked is to check the promoter methylation levels in patient match diagnostic and relapse tumor samples. As you can see in panel B, one of the interesting things we observed is the higher levels of SOX7 promoter methylation in relapse cases compared to the diagnostic ones, suggesting that SOX7 may have a more important, maybe pivotal role during the relapse time in multiple myeloma. Another thing we checked is the SOX7 promoter methylation levels and the copy number value correlations. And interestingly, in diagnostic tumor samples, what we observed is that when the SOX7 copy number is higher, the methylation levels are generally tended to be higher. There is a positive correlation, suggesting that if there is no deletion, the methylation epigenetic promoter methylation may be responsible for the decrease in the expression of the SOX7. In relapse multiple myeloma cases, also we observed a similar positive correlation, suggesting that when the copy numbers are more close to diploid, then they have a tendency to have more methylation levels. Then we compared the SOX7 mRNA expression based on DNA microarray in no deletion and deletion SOX7 deleted cases. We couldn't see a obvious difference actually in the expression levels between deleted versus no deleted for both diagnostic and relapse multiple myeloma. There was not a correlation. This may be related to the effects of promoter hypermethylation that was decreasing the expression in the diploid copy number SOX7. Next, we checked the SOX7 mRNA expression levels and the promoter methylation relationship. As you can see, and as expected in diagnostic multiple myeloma cases, for the cases that has higher methylation levels, generally tend to have lower transcript levels. Although this was not very much obvious in the relapse multiple myeloma case, but it was evident in the diagnostic multiple myeloma tumor cases. And finally, we also compared to mRNA expression of SOX7 in multiple myeloma cases compared to normal plasma cells. And when we normalize to two different housekeeping genes, we observed that there is a transcriptional decrease in the SOX7 expression in multiple myeloma. I mean, underexpression of it in the cases. It was not only in multiple myeloma, but also in high-risk smoldering multiple myeloma. We had a lower level of SOX7 mRNA compared to the normal plasma cells. These high-risk smoldering multiple myeloma are the cases that has a more likelihood to progress and to faster progress to actually multiple myeloma. It's a benign disease that can transition to multiple myeloma. So in conclusion, SOX7 deletion is frequently observed in diagnostic and relapse multiple myeloma cases. Promoter hypermethylation of SOX7 is a common phenomenon in MM cell lines, MM cases, and plasma cell leukemia cases. It is transcriptionally downregulated in multiple myeloma and high-risk SMM cases. And it may have SOX7 may have a general role in development of MM and related neoplasms, and it can be potentially a diagnostic biomarker or therapeutic target. Before finishing my presentation, I would like to thank to our lab members, Xiaozhou, Bircan, Kiara, Hande, and also the previous lab members for contribution to this project and the previous project. I would like to thank to Dokuz Eylül University Faculty of Medicine for providing us the necessary resources to do research. I would like to also thank the funding agencies for providing financial support for this and the other projects. If you are interested, we have a lab website here. You can check, and we will be happy to collaborate if you want. So this is the end of my presentation. Thanks for listening.